tears on the level. See me eye to eye. Stand up like a man, even from the other side. On the level.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another MoGraph MoCast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Drysen, and this is a headline show.
We got a good show for you today. Make sure you follow us on all the things on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You can get show clips and other gems for the show. I've been posting stuff periodically through the week so people can kind of get some clips and things. I know not everybody can watch like a long video form thing every week. I don't do it. Unless it's like,
I don't even watch my own podcast when it's long form.
Right, exactly. You know, something like you know, the things that I do watch, like I'm dedicated to them, but like sometimes I have to just get some clips because I don't have time, and so I enjoy sometimes when like I'm a big David Pakman fan, right? So like I try and watch the long form when I can, but I do enjoy, like, if I'm super busy and I can't watch it, that the clips are on TikTok, because, you know, then when I'm in the bathroom watching TikToks,
that's where all the clips need to be watched.
Right. Yeah, it's nice to have. So I've been trying to put that stuff out there, you know. Sometimes, I mean, even to post a clip that you just have, you know, and it's just like good to go. You still have to take the time to post it. You got to figure out the hashtags, and you got to figure out, you know, all the things, right? And so you got to post it. So there's still some time that it takes. So I'm trying to do that, but I'm trying to make things more of a assembly line process for myself.
Absolutely.
Because we dedicate a lot of time to this every week, you know, and with the new format, it does take more dedication, because there's like things like graphics, and, you know, there's more prep time, you know. For a while I was writing the show notes right before the episode, and that's just due to time, but it doesn't make for the best episode, especially if you don't have a guest, right? So trying to give you more in 24, that's the point, right? So so hopefully it's stuff that people like, and hopefully it's stuff that people actually watch, and we'll get some traction and things, you know. Sometimes it's hard to see, you know, like we got a lot of traction on like stuff about graphics cards last week, for example, right? And it's like, all right, well, maybe people want to see that more than they want to see something on Redshift. I don't know. So I'm trying to work this thing out. There's definitely there's just so much noise, right? It used to be like if you had a show that you did on YouTube or iTunes, whatever, you were maybe one of X amount of people that were doing it, you know, and it was a smaller number. And now just everybody has a show. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got a YouTube channel. So we're hoping to bring you stuff that you actually like to watch. So, you know, and add a little bit of like education, entertainment value, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. So so that's what we're aiming to do. And speaking of more in 24, just wanted to mention what's coming up. We've been doing these headline shows, but we're also going to be we'll still be doing interviews and things, just a little different than before. So remember that next week, Kristen Showquist is going to be on the show. She's going to join us. She was with us in Miami. She's one of Brodur's former students, and I believe her husband was as well. I think they met at the college. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to ask her. But she's great. We had a good time hanging out in Miami, and she's going to join us, and we're going to chat a bit. And then the week after that is going to be Jules on the show. And I'm really excited about it, just because it's always a great show, of course. But the fact that I don't feel like I've talked to Jules much lately, even at meetups and stuff. Like, he hasn't been able to make it because obviously, you know, when you have a kid, you have to take a little break and get used to it. I imagine this is his first kid, so like this is going to be, I'm sure it's a lot, especially when you are Jules Urbeck. Like
I feel like every single business, every single entrepreneur that's started anything has the pre-family business phase and
Right.
the post-family business phase.
Right.
So I'm very curious to see how what's going to be different between now and like 3 years from now.
Right. Yeah. I'm was thinking about writing him a letter too. I need to write him a letter. Just I'm gonna say like I want to maybe there's a little bit of advice I can give him having had 2 kids, and just congratulate him and say, hey, hang in there, because when you have your first kid and you're in the throes of the first couple months, it is just a blur. Maybe give him a little bit of I don't know, hope that it's not always going to be this bad.
Just the first 5 years, that's fine.
Yeah, just the first. I mean, it's still, beyond that, it's still difficult too. But I mean, like the beginning when you're just like, what day is it? What hour is it? I don't even know.
We were pretty lucky. Our kids, all 3, slept pretty consistently early in life, and so our journey into parenthood wasn't that terrible. But I do know friends of mine that they had a different experience, and so I definitely empathize. So hopefully the best. Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Like Casey said, the first 2 years are nuts.
Yeah. And speaking of which, one of the reasons that we are able to bring you more in 24 is because of our sponsor, Otoy. They're the makers of Octane Render and the Render Network. And Jules is he's the dude. Jules is the dude. And he and his company graciously have sponsored us to be our universal sponsor for quite a few years now, and they really understand who we are. They understand what we're doing. This is a community of motion designers, and there's kind of a tradition in community of motion designers, and kind of a feel that not everybody in the industry is aware of, and that's something we're trying to continue to spread. I know that Paul Babb is one of the people who has really created that feeling for motion designers, and he is moving on from Maxon, and times change, and things like things like the events that Otoy does, the meetups and things where we can all chat and stuff. Like they understand that is the vibe that we're trying to keep up here, and so we really want to thank them for helping make our show possible. You can get Octane Render and Render Network and make beautiful renders and render them quickly. So just go to otoy.com and check them out. We got a poll follow up last week. I don't know if you had a chance to catch it or not, Drysen, but
I voted.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
I did.
The question was, which design technology advancement will have the biggest impact on 2024? And nearly unanimously in this poll, it was AI tools, just like across the board. I don't think it's a surprise. It's kind of an easy one, right? It was a softball poll. We already knew the answer, so
I would have been surprised if it was something else. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, true. That's where it's going. The Monday meeting this morning, the whole discussion about things going on with AI. It's 2021 all over again, except instead of crypto art, we're in AI. And the AI stuff is lasting longer than the crypto stuff did already at this point.
I am excited for the AI bubble to pop, kind of like NFTs did, just because the more because I'm using AI a lot, like ChatGPT or just all over the place, just to kind of like speed up our processes, organize my thoughts. And there's some really cool use cases that I found. But the more you use it, the more you realize it's so predictable. It's so not genuine, inhuman. And I think the more that the general population of non-designers and non-writers and non-everything else picks up on that, it's just going to change and not nearly be as impactful in our industry as it is today.
I think there's a standard on how good the AI is on whether or not it can write a good joke. I have tried. I have tried. I have tried. I have tried to train it. I have tried to. It will not write a good joke. The best that it can do for me is use a no, not, I'm sorry. It's not the best for me. It's the best that it can do is to write these stupid jokes that are just similes that have nothing to do with anything else. Similes or metaphors, right? So it'll write a joke like, the new version of Cinema 4D is out, and it will save you so much time. It'll be like running through a forest full of, like, it doesn't make sense. Or it'll be like having an assistant who's had too much coffee to drink, and you're like, that is awful. That is the worst quote joke. Like, and it's always the same jokes like that. Like something, it's like or as. And I'm like, you can't write a joke. You don't understand what I'm going for here. Like, just, you know.
Because it's generative text fill. It's not true AI. AI is just a marketing term right now.
Absolutely. And when I say don't use similes and don't use like or as and don't make comparisons that have like jokes that have nothing to do with the subject matter, it doesn't get it. It doesn't get it. So I don't think we're in trouble yet. That's gonna be my ultimate litmus
Is when
test.
it can write a good joke.
Yeah. Then we'll know that we're getting somewhere.
I'm not sure how comfortable I feel about AI making jokes if it becomes Skynet. You know, that would just be like, end of the world, AI, ha ha ha. Here's the funnies. I don't know, man. Makes me nervous.
Well, speaking of AI, let's get into some headlines here. Maxon stirs the pot. The creative cooks are not happy with this recipe. So this is an incident that happened this week where Maxon posted some AI art on one of their thumbnails. Had nothing to do with the actual content of the video. It was on VFX and Chill. And I'll preface this by saying that the people at Maxon are our friends, and the people at VFX and Chill are our friends. And this goes back to last week's conversation. Did you catch? Oh, hey, look, Camp MoGraph. I got
Camp MoGraph, Australia. All your tickets on sale now.
Oh, no wonder. I did that last week too. I did the same exact thing. There we go. I did the same thing. So last week we were talking about the fact that the Wacom incident happened, and then if you're a company that is making those types of tools, right, that maybe it's not the best idea to be using AI because it kind of like undermines yourself, right? So I'm guessing they didn't listen to that episode because Maxon, did this week. But Hashi and Seth they stated actually that they really didn't think it through, and I completely understand that because this is a callback from something that they did last year, right? They were doing I think it was a video where they were doing some character rigging type stuff, and you could put it into like a photo of somebody. So they had this AI photo, I think, and they like used the motion to like make it animate or something. Not a big deal. And all it was that the thumbnail was a callback to like this thing that they did a long time ago, had absolutely nothing to do with the video. And we use AI art in what we do, like Camp MoGraph stuff and MoGraph stuff, whatever. There's backgrounds, there's things. I use AI art, and it doesn't mean that I'm not aware of some of the ethical implications, right? Like, I'm concerned with it as well. So, don't get me wrong on that. It's just, I think everybody's excited about it. Everybody's excited about AI art when it comes to like the technology. When it comes to the other issues, that's a different story. But we nerd out. We're nerds. We're artists. We're tech nerds. And somebody comes out with a cool AI tool. I'm not necessarily talking about just AI art stuff. I'm talking about ChatGPT and all these things that you can use to help you in your day-to-day. We nerd out about it. And Hashi and Seth are the same the same type of people, right? We hang out with them at events, and they come to stuff. And Justin, is this an AI generated George Lucas on MoGraph podcast? Off to Twitter I go. We hang out with these people. We know who they are, right? And we're just nerds messing around with things. And the problem is that when you work for somebody else, you got to go by their rules. So I understand. I understand that situation. I think, and I understand their enthusiasm for it. We sit here and we talk about how to integrate AI into your workflow as an artist. How can you make your life easier? How can AI make all of our lives easier? So when you're doing stuff and you're enthusiastic, you're not thinking about that at the time, and that's where I feel kind of bad about it. But then again, if you're trying to sell a tool by using a tool that could potentially put you out of business, it's not the best decision ever, right? And apparently that is their policy at Maxon. However,
and I think there's a scalability part of it too, where, like you said, at Camp MoGraph, you guys are using AI to help generate like images to fill in for promotional materials. But you're a team of 4 friends working together as a passion project to make this huge thing to give back to the community. Contrast that with larger companies that have, hundreds of employees. It seems almost like a disservice where you want to really give time to promote the artists and support the artists, so the artists continue to buy from you. So I think the difference there a little bit is just the scale, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, they said it wouldn't happen again. They put up an apology, Maxon did, and I don't know. I feel like it's a lot. I feel like it's a bit much. I feel like the apology was like almost too much, in my opinion. Like, just the over apology. What's the word I'm looking for?
Just being over apologetic.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like a lot. I don't think there's any reason to be this apologetic. Actually, let's watch a clip right here, because we actually have a couple clips of the apology video that Seth and Hashi made.
Generated imagery in a post that Maxon made promoting our show VFX and Chill. And for a company that makes useful and diverse tools for artists, that was pretty stupid.
This image was not intended to be endorsing the unethical use of AI, nor was it intended to deceive anyone into thinking we used a Maxon tool to create such a objectively subpar piece of work. Bottom line, using it was stupid.
And also not to mention against Maxon policies. Maxon has always celebrated artists, because without artists, the tools that Maxon creates wouldn't have any purpose. We shouldn't have done it, and we won't do it again. Period. VFX and Chill is a show about figuring out techniques and solutions to problems faced by visual effects artists, as well as, and this is important, exploring many of the tools that artists create with. Some of those are tools that were created at Maxon, like Cinema 4D and ZBrush, and some are created by others, like After Effects. And there's no question that machine learning tools are becoming more and more part of the modern artist's tool set. So we've talked about them.
Yeah.
So these guys have a passion for digital tools, and same as us, and they're enjoying trying to figure out how to put them in their workflow and telling people what they learned about them and all of that. So I love the passion that they have, and I hope that they weren't too hard on themselves. I think that because they are employed by somebody, and I'm not going to, I don't want to speculate too much and say, they got reprimanded. I don't know. But because they had to do an apology, there's probably something there, and they work for somebody, so they've got to abide by those rules. But I feel bad because I know what happens on the internet when people get their pitchforks out, right? It just makes you feel crappy. Twitter is such a freaking hate fest to me, in my opinion, and just the pitchforks come out, and you guys realize that these two guys are probably working hard to get this stuff out. Oh, just put that thing in there. It was not like they were sitting there plotting.
Be meticulous.
Yes.
We're going to overthrow. No.
And they admitted to the mistake, and that's fine. And it's just if they hear this, I hope you guys were not too hard on yourselves. I feel like the internet and people's comments on the internet it's not balanced, right? You go to Amazon and what happens? I'm going to look up this product. Oh, this product sucks because it was missing a sticker, and and it's just all the bad things. You just get all the bad things on Twitter. So there might be 1,000 people that saw that. There might be 100,000 people that saw that. And I don't know how many views the tweet got, right? But like that compared to how many people were actually upset, and then the amount of people that were so upset that they had to like completely bash. I feel like it's just a bash fest. I feel like it's just
the
a
moral of
reason to
the
let out
story.
anger.
Don't read the comments.
Yeah, or I guess don't post on social anymore at all, right? Like think about like if anybody did this stuff and there were no comments, right? Say that the comments didn't exist, and say that the social aspect, the Twitter threads and things like that didn't exist. Your life would still go on. Like nothing is going to, you know what I mean? It's just like the comparison of when you're sitting in your office and you got all the weight of the world on your head and you've got all the anxieties and the pressures and all the other stuff. If there was an alien looking down at you, they would just see somebody sitting at a desk, right? Like those things are just so in another universe. I feel like when you do things, it's just, and people don't like it, it's amplified on the internet like that. It's all it does for those people is nothing. They write their comment and they get on with their day. And all it does for you is make you feel bad about things that maybe are disproportionately brought up, if that makes sense, right? Like,
And that is why my favorite place to cry is in the shower.
because there's no internet. So, yeah. The internet's a tough place. Really tough place. So end rant, I guess. So just keep doing what you're doing. You know, don't worry about it. I hope they didn't read the comments, because it just sucks. It makes you not want to. I know. I guess I've had similar things happen in the past. It's like it just makes you not want to do it anymore. But then you're not realizing that the 0.001% of people who are upset about something don't represent the 99.9999% out there that actually are enjoying what you're doing. So what are you supposed to do? You can't.
Honestly,
make everybody
you just brush it off and you keep moving forward, because that's where we get confidence from. That's how we learn as we grow as individuals. If we just let that first little bump stop us from going forward, we're never going to accomplish what's on the other side. And that's everything from posting on the internet to even just posting a single piece of art or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to keep being committed, keep trying, keep going forward, keep
Right.
going forward. We're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. And honestly, if anybody says that they had an easy road or a perfect road to get there, they're lying.
And you don't want to have to sit there and second guess everything that you're doing. These guys now, do you not think they're going to second guess everything that they're doing now?
Oh,
before
absolutely.
they post it? Is this okay? Is somebody going to get upset about it? Like, I don't want to live like that. I don't.
No.
So,
At some point, you put it out there. It's out there. You move forward, and you just make the next day a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends worded it so elegantly. My goal in life is just to be a better person tomorrow than I was today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go to this poll here, which is, what should creative tool companies do? Should they fully embrace AI? Should they take a balanced approach to AI, or should they just pretend that AI doesn't exist? Right? Like, think about Maxon, right? Should they just pretend that AI isn't here? Is that the best way to go about it? Should they address the ethical concerns that many of us, including myself, have with AI being used because of where it's being trained? That's the thing, right? We're in the Napster days. We're stealing Metallica songs in MP3 right now. That's where we're at. And that's what happened. And did we completely say we're not going to have digital music online? Did we say we're never going to sell MP3s on the internet because of that? Because it was violating copyright? No. Some great people out there came up with solutions for it. Now, it might not be the best solutions. You still look at Spotify and people making what, 0.01 cents per stream. But I think even for a long time, like, I was guilty of it. I was pirating movies off the internet when it was first possible, right? Like, there's legal avenues now, which are actually easier than the illegal avenues. You remember BitTorrent? Did you ever, and you had to get the little
I was
pieces.
never involved.
But you have
Like,
to,
I'm aware of the process, but I never experimented.
I mean, that, or did you do Napster? Did you do?
Oh yeah, LimeWire, Kazaa
LimeWire,
back in the day. Oh
Getting
yeah.
all them viruses on your computer.
Oh man, my computer hated me.
But it was an ethics concern, right? And after you start learning about it, you're like, oh, okay, I see. And I love AI. I love AI. I love AI art for inspiration. When I'm trying to get ideas flowing and things, I love using. Jen says bear share. I remember that one too. I remember learning about why it was bad to pirate, and then I saw that commercial. You wouldn't download a car, would you? And it changed everything.
I do have a 3D printer, so I totally would.
Yeah, you can download a car now. Yeah, Pirate Bay. And so, but now, like, if I want to watch a movie, I'm paying $2.99 on Amazon. I don't want to go through all that trouble. I'm like, this is cool and this is legit and it's affordable, So I feel like that kind of thing is going to happen in AI. And the thing is, AI is not going away. We can't pretend AI doesn't exist. If you're making creative tools, you really have to think about you really have to think about what you're advertising. If it's detrimental to your company, then but for the most part, I think everybody else is going to probably sit through this just like we did when Napster happened, right? We're going to see changes. We're going to see people doing the right thing. For a while, I was really happy that Adobe was doing the right thing, right? They started doing their stock stuff and we're making sure that it wasn't being stolen from artists. And they even had I believe a tag, and I haven't actually looked and confirmed this, but somebody told me in the Monday meeting this morning that they took away the ability to say whether or not something was AI. And that disappoints me because that feels like a step in the wrong direction. Companies like ArtStation, I believe, do that. So you have a tag that says this is AI. People can filter the AI stuff out if they want. And now there's new technologies coming out too. Like there's a technology that is able to basically poison the photos so that AI can't scrape them. So we're going to see technologies like that come out, just like copyright protection and everything else. And so I'm hoping that it takes a turn in the right direction. But again, it's not going away, right? So as an artist, what are your options? You can decide to not use it, which is fine. You can decide not to consume it. I feel like if Maxon wants to make, which they don't. Again, their policy is not to post it. This was an accident. But let's talk about like maybe some of the people who are purposely doing it, like the college I was talking about last year. The art college that is telling you to come and learn how to do art and using AI art for the ad. Like, you're only hurting yourself. But I don't feel any reason to be upset at them for using that, honestly, because it's only hurting them.
It really boils down to a dollars and cents perspective. As a business, I can be like, hey, I can get this product for so much cheaper. Therefore, I don't have to worry about hiring artists, or I don't have to worry about this, and I don't have to worry about XYZ. If that person goes off and does something crazy and there's a lawsuit that's reflecting badly on my stuff, I don't have to worry about it. So from a business perspective, I see the temptation there. Mm-hmm. But especially when it's working with the people that you want to ask money from. Hey, we're an art school. I want to teach you to be an artist and make cool stuff. That seems like a really bad use case. Same thing as with Wacom when they did their thing last week or 2 weeks ago. So I don't know who had this idea, but I saw it somewhere on LinkedIn where rather than saying, hey, we're using this AI art, why don't we just say, hey, we're going to open a contest up here. All the artists submit their cool artwork. If you want to be featured on our social channel, be featured in our product here, and then just use that community to supplement your marketing, and then give shout out to the people that created that content in the first place. So now not only are you building community, you're supporting a community, and you're giving love and attention to the people who are promoting your products.
I mean, look at our countdown
just
on the
as
show.
expensive.
Our countdown on the show starts out with some of Rev's work,
Yeah.
promoting Rev's work, and rather than having like some AI visuals at the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
So the thing is that, where was I going to go with that Maxon thing? If I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say. I had a good point, but I'll probably remember it later. Justin says those poison technologies have all been proven to be completely useless and incapable of making impact whatsoever. Oh. Well, I guess
that's a
Midjourney
bummer.
CEO talked about it. That's very interesting.
That is interesting.
That was kind of the way I looked at it. People find copyright around copyright protection, right? So they like figure out how to block Napster, and you figure out a way to get around it. Like everybody's always figuring out a way to get around this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's coming. What do you do? Do you quit? Do you quit the industry?
I think honestly we get to a point where it's so recognizable, it's boring.
It
When
is.
you
Yeah,
can
that's
point
very
out
true.
and recognize things that are AI art, you're just going to be like, okay, that's fine, but I want something that's actually got some soul to it or some reality to it, some passion to it, because it's just going to become noise, and it's not going to help businesses in the long run.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was using a lot of, and I still do, use a lot of Midjourney just to get ideas. And and it used to be that I would come up with all these ideas and then I would present them to clients. And now I'm getting more clients that are using it themselves to come up with the ideas, sending me the Midjourney and saying, hey, can you make this? Because they still know they can't do anything with that image. They can't animate it. They can't do subtle changes. They can make the logo bigger, but they can't, change the lighting, move it over 0.1 to the left. Midjourney's not going to do that for you. It's going to give you a brand new image.
Yeah.
If you animate it, if you've tried to animate any of this stuff with Runway or whatever, you can't do what you want to do. Sorry, go ahead.
And that's a fantastic use case because, pre-Midjourney, we would spend hours and hours and hours going through Pinterest and curating boards and go, okay, how can I have these mood boards and reference images and ideas that none of which really can convey the emotion or the style or the look you're trying to achieve, especially when you're chasing a specific client project. So just for reference, one of the projects that we finished up recently at Hyperfocus, we spent like the first day just generating hundreds of images in Midjourney that could represent these abstract things just to get out of our own brains and say, let's break the confines of what we've trained ourselves on and just get something that's new, kind of exciting. And it unlocked so many cool opportunities and potential that we would not have seen otherwise. Now, granted, we didn't just say, this is what we're doing, let's go animate it. We then took everything into Illustrator, recreated everything from scratch, and we just pulled the inspiration from those pieces.
Right.
And I think it's an okay use case for AI. I
believe
really do.
so too. I don't know if everybody's going to agree with that, but I do agree with that because the other alternative to that is going on Google image search and getting photos from those artists that maybe those were scraped for. Everybody
So it's the
does
same
that.
thing.
Everybody has been doing that. And so the only difference is there's kind of an actual traceable path to that, right? Like if I were to take some Beeple stuff and some David Ariev stuff and put it in a board and get some inspiration, am I stealing from them? Because it's all art is just taking ideas from other artists. So that I think the one thing that people would say as the gotcha on that is, well, you're paying for it with Midjourney, right? So you are supporting them for what they're doing, and I can see how people would be, would say that. You know what I mean?
There is a good point you make there about discoverability of finding new people. If I find one artist repeatedly that I like their images, I'm much more likely to go track that artist down and say, hey, we've got a project coming up. Do you want to be a freelancer with us, or would you help us with this project, collab, etc.? You do lose that with Midjourney, and you are paying for it. So that is a very good point that I did not consider.
But I like what Jen says here. Fashion industry runway knockoffs ready to wear hit the stores the following week. you can only copyright the brand, logo, and name. To the true originators, will still make money. Does Rolex not sell Rolexes anymore?
Good point.
They still, you know how many knockoffs there are. That, I mean, that's a good point. And she says it's going to come down to copyright laws, which it is, because if they're using the copyrighted material for it, they have to have permission. You know, so the only way. See, this is tough, because the only way that this would change is if, like, the AI became, like, fully sentient, right? So let's say the AI becomes conscious, and we all agree within this world that AI is conscious, okay? And it's a sentient being. Are we still going to say that because it looked at 1,000 photos of other people's work that it's stealing?
Well, that all depends on its ability to make a joke.
Right, that's true. Very true. Here, dang. And that's kind of it, right? Like, the only difference between AI scraping it and coming up with something and me scraping it is coming up with something is my eyes are only going to remember so many images and things that I've seen before I put it together and build something based on what those artists did, right?
Yeah.
So the problem that we have is that it's able to do it so well.
Truly.
I mean,
truly, I agree.
You know, if I had a super crazy IQ and some weird, like, crazy, like, I don't know, brain thing where I was, like, able to remember every single, what is it called? There is a name. Some people do have this. It's
the photorealistic memory or photogenic memory.
The woman from, but more than that, it's like hyper. Like, I have a photographic memory, but I can't remember everything I've ever seen. The woman who's on Taxi, she can remember everything. What's her name? She can remember everything she's seen. She can remember, she could tell you what date it was that day because she can see the calendar. I mean, it's crazy, right? So what if she looked at 100,000 images of AI art? And what if she became a really good artist? And what if she was really good at cinema and rendering? And she used the same, like, 100,000 photos that Midjourney used to create her own art. Is she violating copyright law?
Speculation. I don't feel comfortable.
So now we're
answering
coming
any of
down
this.
to whether or not it's an organic computer or a physical metal silicon computer that's remembering the things and imitating it.
Eidetic memory, Jen says.
Memory. Thank you.
Eidetic memory.
I'm just saying, I'm just putting a lot of what ifs there. I'm not really trying to defend anything or anything else. I'm really just trying to get into a deep discussion about it, because now we're just talking about what computer is doing the plagiarism. A human computer or a man-made computer? Something to think about.
I think that use case is so far in between and so far above my mental capacity that I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
What happens when we integrate technology into our bodies? What happens when you have more memory because, you know, you can offload your brain back and forth onto a computer and we have implants and things? What happens when we can remember everything that we see for that reason? And then we create art. Are we not artists anymore? Expand your mind,
Dude, I don't like
man.
this. I don't like this at all.
I swear I didn't smoke any weed before this. Anywho, okay, poll reminder. First of all, poll reminder. I'll bring it back up so in case anybody wants to get the QR code, you can check it out. See if I'll try and refresh this and see if we got any, but I didn't really leave the QR code up there for long. So give a chance for people to get this QR code right here and scan it and tell us what you think creative tool companies should do. Fully embrace AI, give a balanced approach, or just pretend that AI doesn't exist at all. So poll reminder on that, and we will be right back.
Hi, my name is Sashia Dumont. I'm a writer, actor, and filmmaker.
Hi, my name is Paul Robinson. I'm a director, DP, and filmmaker. We are the creators and hosts of the Go Gorilla Filmcast, an online source for all things indie film.
We are a husband and wife film team and co-owners of Sen3 Productions, and we started this podcast for filmmakers like ourselves who were producing on micro budgets with skeleton crews.
Go Gorilla is a weekly podcast that features various talents in TV, film, and web series productions.
We've interviewed filmmaker powerhouses like Kestrin Pantera,
Richard Raymond,
Alex Ferrari,
Cassandra Ebner,
and Ryan Connolly. Amazing actors like Hannah Ward,
Lou Taylor Pucci,
Chris Wataski,
and Eileen Gruba,
groundbreaking cinematographers like Jody Lee Lipes.
and Jessica Lee Gagné, and many more.
We also offer weekly reviews of our favorite films and shows, which vary from low-budget first-time filmmakers to A-listers and everyone in between. Go Gorilla is proud to announce that we have officially joined the MoGraph Podcast Network.
So if you love filmmaking as much as we do,
Tune in every Sunday for a new episode of the Go Gorilla Filmcast, your source for all things indie film. Now available on the MoGraph Podcast Network.
And by the way, they are changing up their format a little as well.
Ooh, are they?
They did an announcement. I'm trying to see like if they're going to go into video at all, so like you can play that on MoGraph TV as well.
Nice.
So, yeah, I was just talking to Paul the other day. All right, let's go to some more AI stuff. How about that? We'll just continue right down the road here. There are some, well, it's not really AI, I guess. It's more NFT. But there's, I think if you were following the last few weeks, that there was copyright expiration of Steamboat Willie. And so, of course, people are trying to find ways to make money off of it because they can use it now. Corridor Digital was actually, they actually posted the entire Steamboat Willie the second it was like out of copyright. So like on their channel, but that was, I don't think they were trying to do a whole money grab though. I think it was just kind of they're kind of proving a point. Does that make sense? Like
First.
right. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to prove that point, but there's some other things. There's of course NFTs. There's this Willie ERC token and all that. And I'm just kind of like, is this still a thing? Like, is this really still a thing that there's still like tokens being made and there's just these new things people are I just feel like that's so 2021 at this point. I can't believe that it's actually still going on,
I don't know. It's kind of exciting. I mean, it's something that's been around for when did Steamboat Willie come out? Like, what year was that?
I don't remember.
It's over 100 years now, right?
Yeah, I think that's why. That's why it expired. I forget what the actual number is. Disney actually, I believe, is the one who pushed to get the expiration raised, but they've been doing that for years, and so it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of over now. But the whole like token thing, like, are there really going to be? Really, are you going to buy some tokens of Steamboat Willie? Is that going to make you rich? It's like, that's why I'm like, I can't believe that stuff's still going on. You know what I mean?
1928, by the way.
1928.
Jed
okay.
erased you.
There you go. Yeah.
Because if I remember right, there was a whole like big lawsuit a couple of years ago trying to extend it, make sure that the it didn't become public. The copyright wasn't lifted, and Disney was trying to fight it for a long time and keep prolonging it. And I don't honestly know if Mickey Mouse will ever become public domain, but
right.
I could see where people are like, hey, we're the first people to jump on this. I could see some hype there, but I think it'll be short-lived, and I don't know, 2 weeks from now we'll kind of forget about it.
Yeah, the NFTs and the coin things, I'm just like, okay. Well, you know what's funny is this headline, Steamboat Shilly. I thought I was being really creative until I was going through some other articles, and I see that freaking Beeple posted something that day, and he called it Steamboat Shilly.
So close.
I was like, really? I thought I was being creative. Can't get ChatGPT to write me any good jokes, and I thought I had one. Whatever. Yeah, an anonymous representative of Disney did put out a statement about the NFC tokens and things, though.
Gosh, it seems pretty goofy to me. Yup.
No? Okay. Anyway.
I should not find that as funny as I do.
Let's go to an artist spotlight. We got another artist spotlight this week. It is Billy Chitkin. And I just want to say that Billy Chitkin is like such an incredible person in general, right? Like Billy Chitkin is so helpful to everybody on the Slack. He he digs into everything when it comes to crypto and NFTs and like all the things. He's a very by the book person, right? He's going to, like, when it comes to crypto and taxes and stuff, like I need to see if he'll come on the show and talk to us about some of this stuff, because like he's always giving these updates like, oh, you got to do this with your taxes this year, guys, and like all of this. He's so by the book. He wants to make sure that everything's legit, all of that, and he's so helpful, and he's always in the
and hyper intelligent too.
Yes,
just I wish my brain worked like his.
And his work obviously is incredible. I know he sold some of his pieces. He didn't really get it real into NFTs for a little while. It felt like we were saying, hey, you should post some of your stuff, and I know he had been thinking about it, and he finally did, and it went well. And he's very good with crypto and that whole side of it, and how to save your things onto like hardware wallets and stuff. And he will drop everything and help you when you're in a jam, and I just think that that's amazing, and that's why he's the artist this week. Yeah.
I love Billy. I really do. I've met him a few times through Camp MoGraph, and every time I'm just like, he's super approachable, super knowledgeable, and just a downright awesome human being.
Yeah, for sure. Another person that I would love to have back on the show is Silverwing, which I was talking to you before the show. Raphael Rao. I don't. Maybe you haven't followed him. Of course, I don't know if you're like a big Octane guy or not. So that kind of makes sense.
I'm dipping my toe in.
Yeah. It's if you want to check out Silverwing stuff, like it's really good. And the big thing this week is that he actually is diving into Blender. He did his logo with the Blender, or he did the Blender logo like with his logo kind of built in. Like, if you don't know his logo, this logo wouldn't make sense, but everybody speculated that he was switching, but he's not actually switching. He's got Blender for C4D users tutorial that he just put out. He says, I'm not switching, I am expanding. There will also be C4D Octane tutorials here in the future, which those are fantastic, by the way. He put out an Octane compositing nodes tutorial, which those compositing nodes and everything are great. They're a great way to like kind of pre-comp stuff if you're already inside of Octane and you don't want to like render out like 500 layers and different passes and put them into After Effects. But his stuff is so good, and he dives into the science of it. He dives into the settings. He tells you why. Like if you asked him things about IOR and specular and all that, like he knows all about the real world physics of it and everything. It's so good. It's so good. So check those out. And if you are looking to get into Blender, there are some reasons to and not, I guess. Like if you're new to Blender, or I'm sorry, if you're new to 3D, I can see that you would go to Blender, right? Like that's the free one, as we all know, right? And I think that it's like a dilemma for people around our age, because especially, I mean, I know it is for me. If you're working B2B, if you're doing business to business, you get to choose what piece of software you want. I don't feel like I have a reason to go to Blender. But on the other hand, if you're just getting into it, if you're a contractor and everyone's looking for a Blender person, yeah. But it doesn't hurt to know.
I think it all boils down to use sell the results, not the tool. And so if I need 3D and I don't know where to get 3D from, I'm going to talk to any 3D artist that can deliver that particular product. Mm-hmm. And the tool itself doesn't matter. It's the same concept as Animation Bootcamp. So be familiar with how to use one or the other. And, if you can do one thing, I'm sure you can fumble around the other side. I'm not a power 3D user. I fumbled inside of Cinema 4D. I learned Maya a decade ago. But, yeah, I think just sell the results, not the tool.
Well, I didn't have a chance to watch any of Silverwing's Blender stuff yet, but I have a respect for him doing all that work on it, because me personally, I don't feel like if I were somebody with his amount of experience and everything, I would be able to take the time to do it. Like right now, like I can't even open the dang program and get into it, let alone go on a bender like he did and just learn all of this. Like he has just been in it, and I'm like, how do you find the time? And I would like to know why, and maybe this tutorial, his first tutorial, says why, but like because he is saying that he's expanding, but he's not necessarily moving to it. It's like, but why? Is it for the tutorials? Is it so that you have knowledge of it? Is it because you have people using it? I would like to know a little bit more about that.
That'd be a great question to ask.
Yeah. And, who brought it up this morning in the Monday meeting? Somebody brought up that the older you get, the harder it is to do that stuff, right? Or maybe not necessarily older, but the more responsibilities. If you get older and you have a family, it's harder. You barely have time to get the stuff done, let alone dive into something else, right?
I know how to do it this way. I'm going to get it done this way.
Absolutely. And it's hard to do those things. So I have a lot of respect for him just taking such a dive. I know other people are doing that right now as well. Like Jags. I know Jags is diving into it. Nick Donellan said that it was Jeff. Thanks, Jen. It was Jeff. And so you just got to look at it yourself. I think there's pressure. I think that's the problem. I think the pressure is the problem. People are like, oh, you got to learn Blender. Why? Or same with Unreal, right? I feel this pressure to learn these things, but I don't know why I'm supposed to be doing that. Goes back to the internet.
I think it all comes down to the relationships you have and the business you're building.
Right.
If you are working with studios that require Cinema 4D, then you're going to stick in Cinema 4D.
Yeah.
But if you are a new studio, like Hyperfocus, for example, we are not a 3D house. We're a 2D studio and live action studio. And so if I need an artist to do 3D work, I am going to go talk to the person that I have the best relationships with, and it's not really about the tools that they use. Now, as the new generation comes into everything and they're learning new things, like I said, 10 years ago, I was learning Maya. I don't know very many people that start in Maya anymore. And so people that are learning more and more about Blender, that opens up a whole new relationship world of a whole new workforce. And so as long as your relationships are already pre-established and you are strong and you're a good communicator and your clients aren't going anywhere, there's not really a need to learn additional things. But if you want to just keep competing, then you got to learn all the tools.
Well, here's one of the reasons I would use Blender. If I was going to start doing some sort of kids show and it had a whole bunch of characters, right? I'm not very good at characters to begin with. So I'm going to maybe learn, if I'm going way into it, right? I'm going all in. I know that I have heard that either Maya or Blender, mainly Maya, is better for this character stuff. I keep hearing that, okay? Does Cinema do it? Yes. Do I know how to mess with it a little? Kind of. I've done a couple things. And maybe that would be a good example. But like when it comes to the day-to-day, if I'm going to do some flying text or rotate a model of someone's product and have it land somewhere, like why do I need to reinvent the wheel for that if that's what I'm delivering for my clients? What is going to...
And I think in those cases, I don't think you do. It's kind of like Casey put here. As a mom, she always felt pretty left in the dust, but she keeps getting paid for what she knows. And Jen said that she keeps getting paid because of her soft skills. We are still in a fairly early age of the MoGraph industry. It's only been around for 15, 20 years on the long end, as far as the current rendition of it. I mean, it goes back to the 60s if you want to get really, really crazy with it. But we don't know what it's going to look like in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And there might be so many different diversifications and so many different industries that it's going to be very clear that you're going to use this one or that one or this one or that one. And maybe you have some overlap and stuff, but not a lot. So I think we keep doing what we're good at. We learn tools when we can, and don't worry about learning every single tool out there because you'll go crazy. I don't need to learn Rive and Houdini and Cinema 4D and Blender and. I just need to find the 3 or 4 things that are going to set my career for success, double down on them, and if they start going away, learn something new.
Right. Yeah, all the hype about Rive, right? Oh, Rive. And I'm like, oh, this is cool, but like the examples I saw were like animating 2D characters, and I don't do that. So now there's pressure to learn Rive.
But why?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, but why though? But why?
No.
I just need to
Pick
stop
your
listening to the
specialty,
internet.
pick your niche,
see?
talk to those clients.
Yeah. Don't worry about what the internet says ever.
And never read the comments.
And never read the comments. We're going to take a quick break. Again, I need to reiterate this poll so you can get on here. Oh, we got stuff coming up here. Should creative tool companies fully embrace AI, balanced approach, or pretend that it doesn't exist? If you have not put in your what would you call it? Your
vote.
Vote? Yeah, those big words are difficult for me. Do that at the break, and we'll be right back. You're really gonna like this. You're really gonna like this one. Here you go.
Hey, fellow MoGrapher, I'm Drysen, and I would love to personally invite you to check out Frame One, a podcast where I sit down with creative leaders within our industry to hear the journey of their startup story, how they felt, and of course, uncover tips and tricks that they use to find success in their business. If you've ever considered freelancing, or maybe even starting your own studio, you need to check out Frame One, available on all podcasting platforms, and of course, at frameoneshow.com.
That guy talks a lot.
That guy, man. What's up with that guy? By the way, up next on MoGraph TV is an episode of Frame One with Aaron Sorofsky. So stick around after this if you want to see that episode. Jen says in the chat, as a 2D animator, I get a lot of pressure to get back to 3D, but I don't want to. And I get that. I really do. You know, I, as a 3D animator, sometimes do get some 2D projects. And I don't necessarily want to go back to that. I go into After Effects, and sometimes I'm just like, it's taking me longer to make this explainer video than if I could have just done something in 3D. And for me, it's not my bag, right? So,
and there's a level of polish to it too, where I can do some really cool things in 2D, like just nice. And I can fumble my way through 3D. So it's like, all right, yeah, I guess he checked the boxes. So I think you double down on what you know.
Yeah, just
and what you want to do.
Ignore the pressure. Ignore that pressure, right? Yeah, there we go. Jen, I will send you my 2D work. You send me the 3D work. That works. There we go. See,
and
just
that is the power of community.
And
Boom.
that is how it works, really, right? If somebody came to me with a really difficult 3D animation or a TV show or whatever, no, maybe I wouldn't learn Maya. Maybe I would just big brain it and say, hey, you know what? Hire somebody. Hire somebody better than you. Don't learn Maya for that. So maybe all of us need to put on our business hats in that aspect and make our lives a little bit easier and put a lot less pressure on ourselves. Like, really, like, it makes so much sense when you think about it. If somebody comes with me to Unreal stuff, I'm not going to try and figure out how to use all of the tools. I might familiarize myself because I'm going to be kind of working with these people, but maybe I don't need to learn every aspect of it. Imagine that. So, I want to talk about Camp MoGraph real quick before we wrap up. Camp MoGraph Australia.
Tickets on sale now. Please buy. It's an epic lineup, and you're going to love it.
Please buy. Oh, look, Drysen's on both of them.
I don't have a script for this.
Yeah. Well, you did show up at the last minute, so I'll give you some slack on that. Let me just put myself above this headline. I don't know what's going on with this here. Here, I'm just going to do it all live. You know, we'll do it live.
While you're fixing that, never mind. I'm going to shut up.
No, go ahead. What's up?
I was just going to brag about how amazing Camp MoGraph is and rag on anybody that hasn't bought a ticket yet, because they are truly missing out on a prime opportunity to be one of the founding members of the very first Camp MoGraph Australia. And as someone who attended the very first Camp MoGraph USA, I will say it is a unique honor to be able to claim. So don't be shy.
I'm glad
Jump
you
in
came.
now.
I'm glad you came to that. And now I will say that this is not the main Camp MoGraph for this year. This is the Australian Camp MoGraph. If you would like to come from another country, you are welcome to. But we will be hopefully announcing the American one here pretty soon. we don't like to really say anything until it's like fully donezo.
Locked
Like
in.
locked, loaded, ready to go, you know.
Check's been written.
Yeah. So make sure you go to campmograph.com.au and check that out. If you've been thinking about going to Australia, thinking about taking a vacation to another country or something, roam if you want to, roam around the world, come on down to Australia and join us. We're going to have more updates on that hopefully pretty soon, but there are still some tickets left on that, so get on there. If you're on the fence, if you got any questions, let us know. Hit us up. Ask us any questions you might have. You can hit us up on all the channels and things. Speaking of which, what channels and things can people find you on?
I am by far most active on LinkedIn, and as of recently, a lot more videos on Instagram and TikTok, where I'm trying to do my best to help educate business owners and marketers about the power of motion graphics. And it's traditionally my network has been other freelancers, other artists, and I'm trying to expand upon that. So if you have seen a piece of content, you're like, hey, that's kind of a cool point, and I know somebody could benefit from it, please share, because I'm trying to reach more and more of those people to bring more business into our industry.
And you've been on that TikTok, man. You've been doing
I
it.
apologize right now for annoying all my friends that watch it.
It's all right. I'm giving you the likes and all of the things, You got
I appreciate
You got
it.
to put it out there if you're going to ever try and get an audience. And you know how TikTok is, too. We need you to post 50 billion comments and videos and everything every day, or else you're not going to get pushed into the algorithm, derp.
The only piece of content I've had go viral so far was my daughter saying, "This is what I sell, and give me my money."
Yeah.
So, of course, it's not even my content.
That's what the internet likes, though, so whatever, I guess.
Whatever. Don't read the comments.
Don't read the comments. That's the title of the show. Don't read the comments. So, we are going to wrap up and get out of here. That was a quick hour. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for calling me.
Check us out at MoGraph.com, MoGraph.com/TV if you want to watch more, including the episode of Frame 1 coming up right now after this with Aaron Sorofsky. MoGraph.com.
Highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We're at MoGraph.com, all spelled out, DOTCOM. And I think I've covered everything. Just go to our websites and follow us on all the things. We got some other content coming out that is going to be just like specifically short form content, stuff like that, throughout the year. And we can't wait for you to check it out. So we're going to get out of here. Till next time, I'm Dave.
I'm Drysen.
Have a good one. Pretty good, I guess. Introducing MoGraph TV from MoGraph.com, a free motion graphics and animation channel streaming your favorite content and favorite artists 24/7. MoGraph TV features motion graphics tutorials, talks, tips, inspiration, and replays of popular live shows. We offer something for all levels of designer, from introductory tutorials to high-level breakdowns and everything in between.
That track looks great to me.
MoGraph TV features software like Cinema 4D, After Effects, Unreal Engine,
What up?
third-party plugins, and other 2D and 3D software. We also feature live motion events, short-form clips, crypto art, and even a little photo and video editing. Learn from the people that inspire you most, and stay up to date on all the latest industry news, announcements, and community events. You'll also see exclusive offers only available by watching. With 3 8-hour blocks each day, you'll be sure to catch everything, no matter what your time zone. Keep it on as a companion to your workday and learn something new. Meet a friend, watch a demo, catch a classic tutorial, or even find new inspiration.
That's a British word?
A lot of things are British words.
Yes, good luck with all your projects.
MoGraph TV, television for the design community 24/7.